another episode of Podward State. I'm Grace Cunningham.
I'm Sam Brungo.
Today we have musical duo Anchor&Arrow joining us, IRL, which is exciting in real life.
ITS.
Wait, what's ITS?
In the studio.
Oh, in the studio. Yeah, ITS.
Yeah, it was cool to have those guys in the studio. It was a different setting seeing them. Normally it's at the bar, for me at least. You probably at THON.
Yeah.
Is that the only time you ever saw them?
Yep.
Yeah, but you've seen LoJack, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Where'd you see LoJack, Grace?
THON.
They actually didn't play at THON this year.
It was a
They
different
usually
year.
play like the graveyard shift, and they didn't play this year. I was so disappointed. Anyways.
This is like a really bad intro.
Yeah. Yeah, it was cool of them. Come talk. You can follow them on social at Anchor&Arrow in various different ways. But if you search them, you'll find them. They're awesome. Go see them at cafe. Buy them a beer. Sounds like you actually probably don't need to. It sounds like they get served plentifully. Is that a word?
I think it's, I don't, wait,
Plentiful.
it is plentifully?
Plentifully.
Okay.
Anyways, we're going to hop into some headlines here. Teagan's going to come over and join Grace for some headlines read by Jordy and Stutz. And then we're going to talk to Matt and Jen. William. Will's back.
Oh, yeah.
What up, Will?
Yeah.
Will's going to fly solo with Anchor&Arrow. Cool conversation. And then, well, he already did, but we're going to play that after the headlines. And then afterwards, we're going to have our little sports chat hosted by Charlie with Connor and Keeley.
It's Keeley's sports debut.
Keeley's sports debut. Woo!
The Keel Stars.
Anyways, yeah, let's get into some headlines. Teagan Staudenmeier.
Now we're going to get into some headlines. We have Jordy Mansberger joining us first.
How are you, Grace?
Oh, I was going to say, how are you? I'm pretty good.
Teagan, how are you?
I'm good.
That's
I'm
great.
Tired. I want a break now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I was at this
your
place
phone
last
today.
night. Yeah. I was at this place last night. After 3 long years, Cafe 210 West, beloved 55 Days of Cafe promotion, is finally set to return this spring, starting at 11 a.m. on Monday, March 14th. Fans of the bar are tasked with visiting Cafe every day for 55 days straight, leading up to Penn State's graduation. Those who complete the challenge will have their names immortalized on a plaque and later be invited to an open bar celebration with tons of giveaways.
Nice.
Yeah.
Are you going to do it, Jordy? That seems like a you thing.
I think if I put my mind to it, I could.
I believe in you.
So wait, like, do I have to buy a drink for 55
buy
days?
something.
I mean, I could probably get like a Miami Beach every day for like the last 55 days.
Okay.
I'd like to believe I could handle that.
What about you, Teagan?
I don't know. I admittedly have only ever been to cafe once.
You can make it 56.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Start somewhere.
After previously announcing a long-awaited in-person commencement ceremony for the Penn State class of 2020, the university released a brief schedule of events this week. The class of 2020's original commencement ceremony was virtual due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Now a true in-person ceremony will be Friday, April 29th and conclude Sunday, May 1st. All interested in attending must register here before Friday, April 8th. And whenever I say here, there's a link in that, so please don't like reach out to the pod to register. But yeah.
Everyone's like,
yeah. YouTube comments.
that's nice, but I don't
Cool.
know how many people will do that.
It's about not
Yeah, but
having a
2
commencement.
years later,
Yeah.
like,
It's kind of like, it's like, all right, guys, I'm already like fully employed in my field, but let's go back and graduate.
yeah. And because you already have your like diploma and stuff, so you're just like,
I don't know. Maybe it would be fun to like see everyone. Like
maybe. Oh yeah, if you like
just
little
have it be,
reunion.
Like, a
Yeah.
little year after.
Yeah.
2 years after reunion.
I don't think I would go. Pegs, would you go? To what? Like a fake graduation for you?
2 years later.
I would be like relieved if my graduation got canceled.
I guess it depends. Like if someone's really sentimental and they feel like they missed out.
It'd be kind of cool if, well, actually, when is it? Oh wait, end of April.
Yeah.
It'd be kind of cool if you had like a sibling who's like 2 years younger, and then you both like
Wait,
graduated.
that would be really cute.
Actually, it wouldn't be that interesting. But
All right. Not cute. Awful.
anyway,
Bad idea.
That wouldn't be cute at all. On Friday, homecoming announced its yearly festivities will begin on Sunday, October 16th, along with the Nittany Lions versus Minnesota game at Beaver Stadium on Saturday, October 22nd.
Nice.
Nice.
Be fun.
Yeah.
Penn State President Eric Barron released a statement on Monday to voice support for those affected by the ongoing conflicts in Ukraine. Barron wrote, "Our hearts are with all who are directly in harm's way as a result of this direct attack on Ukrainian sovereignty in clear violation of international law." Very nice of Eric Barron. The Penn State Ukrainian Society will host another rally on Thursday, March 3rd to voice support for Ukraine. Last week, the society hosted a smaller rally in front of the Allen Street gates. Me and Grace walked past it. It was every car was honking. It was like actually really hype.
Haley and I walked past it when we were waiting for the gorilla.
Yeah.
Oh.
And we thought maybe the gorilla would go to
Show support for you.
The gorilla is a gorilla that attends Penn State, and its name is Buzz.
Devin thinks it's a real gorilla.
Yes.
Devin Craley?
Devin Craley thinks it is a real gorilla.
Oh.
Wait, what?
Yes.
He thought it was real.
He was confused because he thought that it was real, and he didn't know how it got here.
My dad watches this, and he's gonna.
I'm like in shock.
He's gonna send it to Devin's dad probably.
Wait, send what?
That clip.
Oh.
Yeah, since I was like born.
Oh, wait, really?
Yeah.
He
so
reminds
do
me of Dungan.
Yeah.
That's probably why.
I was just showing Connor pictures of my Pocono house, and that's where we met. Like his dad and my dad are members of the Hunting and Fishing Club. Yeah.
I'm glad to be hosting this week's interview alongside Matt Dasham and Jen Henry Dasham. They make up Central Pennsylvania musical duo Anchor&Arrow, one of my personal favorites. You can pretty much see them at any State College bar. So good to see you guys. How's it going?
Hey, pretty good.
That's
Thank
great.
you for having us.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Thanks
Yeah.
a million.
You guys are we're just talking about it. You're the first in-person guest of this season 6.
Nice,
So
thank you.
big.
That's
Yeah.
exciting.
Very exciting.
What an honor.
Yeah, of course. So yeah, I guess just to get things started, you guys are a married couple and a musical duo. I guess for both of you, where kind of how did your interest in music and performing kind of start?
Would you like me to begin?
I would like you to begin.
Well, my musical journey began when I was very, very young.
He has a tiny, tiny
I
violin.
was 2. My mommy made me take violin lessons, and 18 years later, I went to Penn State, beginning music education on the violin, and thinking that was my path.
Right. We both started as music majors, and that
That's
didn't
true.
that didn't last.
No, it's not. Realized I didn't like music. No, that's not true. But I realized that structure of music was not for me. I wanted to have fun with it, and I wanted to do my own sort of thing, and that's kind of what we end up doing. So that's great. But feel like I've been doing it all of my life.
Yeah, for sure. Same here. Singing and singing from a very early age. Probably first professional gig was 12 at a Christmas party, and also started out in music at Penn State. It wasn't for me. Very, very competitive. Very, love the music program. Don't get me wrong. So many choirs, so many connections made through Penn State music. But I think, really fulfilled music after college.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Doing much more with it now than I had ever expected. So, yeah.
True.
There you go. Very, very cool. Okay, so and I guess I didn't realize you guys both. I didn't assume you guys both went to Penn State. Are you both from the area? How'd you both choose Penn State?
I am from State College, so I've been here my whole life. It kind of made sense to go to Penn State. That's the kind of, if you are a State College kid, you are expected then to go to Penn State, and that's exactly what I did.
There you go.
Or if you're not a State College kid and your parents are just obsessed with Penn State, then you're also expected to go to Penn State.
I've met a few parents like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. Yours.
Yes, mine.
So, when did you guys meet in your Penn State journey, or did you not meet at Penn State?
No.
Oh, you didn't meet at Penn State?
Very much later.
Oh, okay.
No.
What is that story?
We have a considerable age difference.
That is not true.
Who would you
who would
think?
consider that?
Who would you think
Just a couple of years.
would be? Who would have graduated first?
Is that to the field?
That's to the field.
Careful. Careful. Anyways, we met
Through playing music.
through playing music.
Yeah,
That
we
is
started a
true.
trio together that did not work out, I guess.
No,
And-
that was the early stages of things that led to us meeting each other and realizing we had more in common and more interests than just music in one another, and
Right.
And so we pursued that, and eventually we said, hey, we should do something with these skills that we have and this path that we've taken so far, and eventually, probably about what?
And no one
two?
was doing what we were doing, and we kind of filled a void a little bit.
Yeah, totally.
Interesting. Yeah, and so did that happen in like the State College, Central Pennsylvania area, or was that somewhere else?
Nope,
That was here.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Very cool. All right.
Yeah.
So yeah, kind of, I guess for me, and I think why a lot of other people like you as a live music duo, you kind of put your own twist on certain songs, your own kind of vibe to it. Do you have any like favorite songs that you guys perform live, or bands that you get to kind of model yourself after?
I mean, I love doing our originals. That's just my favorite thing to do. We put so much blood, sweat, and tears into our music, and I really enjoy it. Like, not that I would never listen to us in the car or anything like that, but when we play our own music, it just feels so much different.
Yes.
But we have a lot of influences, I guess.
Sure.
Like Imelda May early on was a huge influence, and
That's true. There's been a definite trajectory that we've taken. Where we started is not where we are
Right.
now. I mean, we had intended to become a nice, soft, calm acoustic duo.
right, like a little jazz
Me
duo.
on the guitar and her singing along, and it developed into something else when we realized we could make that happen. So
Yeah, the looper is like, all the other band members that we don't have to pay.
right, the looper and the technology fills a huge void and creates a different experience. At least I hope it does.
Definitely.
But he spends hours doing all the looper stuff,
true.
like programming in all the bass parts and the drum parts and everything, all the
Right.
parts.
And I very much enjoy playing almost everything that we do because we try to put our own spin on things
Right.
and put our own aspect or our own just sense of I don't know, our own personality into those songs. I have no problem covering tons of tunes. The reason those tunes are covered is because they're awesome, and
I don't
there's
like
nothing
covering
wrong with
lots of
that.
tunes.
I don't mind.
Interesting. Okay.
But I don't want to necessarily do them the way that they were written. I want
But that's
to
what
do
people
them-
want.
Yeah,
Right. Yeah. People want cover
it certainly
tunes.
helps us getting us in the door in a lot of places.
Right.
Right.
People want to hear what they know a lot of times, and we cater to that in a lot of ways. But we also turn those things into a little bit of our own as much as we can.
Sure. Well, most recently where I saw you guys was THON. I think that was you had the Sunday morning set, which I thought was awesome. I know it was kind of a slow start because of the technical difficulties. I was pissed at the BJC. They kind of screwed you guys over, but it worked out after the initial delay. What was that like? That was your first ever THON, right? So or first ever
I'll address
first
the
ever time
technical
performing at THON.
difficulties.
It was great after that.
Yeah.
I understand that when you rely on a lot of electronics and equipment, that things can easily get thrown off. And in this situation, after 35 hours of mixing things,
Yep.
perhaps they weren't expecting bass, drums, percussion, other things to come out of two people on stage. So
I'm
what
sure it
I
wasn't the same guy doing it
Right,
for
that's
35
probably true,
hours.
I guess your point.
Still, that is a good point.
I wanted to think that guy was just,
He's been
just struggling a little bit. Whatever. But maybe they weren't expecting us to bring all this out there, and that's what happened. And it was a little tricky at first. It's not the first time that that's happened to us, and so we took it in stride and regrouped, and things fell into place after that.
There you go.
At least I like to think so.
I like to
that's
think
how I
so.
remember it.
I loved it.
Although a lot of that whole time was a blur. It was 6:25 in the morning.
And we played very late the
and we
night
had
before.
played elsewhere the night
Yes.
before.
Oh, really?
And
Oh, yeah.
Ooh. Wow. Okay.
And Greg Summers keeps those drinks just rolling on
that
in.
is true. Yeah, it was a good night. I don't remember either one so much at this point.
Right. Yeah.
And for different reasons.
Yeah.
funny.
It was great. I was blown away by the whole THON experience. I had no idea, like, all the things going on outside of the actual event.
Right.
Outside of the floor.
Yeah, just
Things
walking into that place really opened our eyes to a lot of other things that were taking place, the behind the scenes that were happening,
Right.
that you might not be aware of. It's
So
not just
much
a bunch of
goes
kids
into it.
dancing and watching people perform and things like that. So
Yeah.
it was great.
It was wonderful.
We were so happy to be asked to come and do that.
Yeah.
Had not expected that sort of thing. so it
No,
was-
that happened in the summer. That was
Oh, there you go.
fantastic.
Right.
Yeah.
It was your first time performing there, right? Or first
Yeah.
time there at all? Okay,
There
you
at
go.
all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
true.
I remember because being on like press row, we're allowed to like sit with our laptops and stuff. But I was up the whole time when you guys got on stage because I got there at, I think my shift started back at like 6 a.m.
Oh, nice.
So I was-
Perfect.
You had me dancing the whole time, so it was a
Oh,
good way to start. It was a
good.
good way to start Sunday, jumpstart the final day of THON. So it worked out well. So
Oh,
It is
good. Nice.
always the ultimate compliment when people get up and start dancing and
Right.
moving around.
Yeah.
Then I just know I'm doing something right, and so thank you for doing that, and thank you for writing some wonderful articles.
Oh,
We
of
went out to
course.
breakfast
Oh.
after the performance, and
I know.
I think by that point you already had something posted.
Love that Will Pegler. I just
know. What a
love
nice
him
guy.
so much.
Jeez.
So kind of, going from THON, you guys, you play for, just reading your website and seeing where you guys play, you play for, a ton of different kind of crowds in the State College area. I'm kind of curious, like, what are the pros and kind of you could compare, like, performing in front of college students at maybe like
Right.
a rowdy or college bar versus in front of, quote unquote, more like tame adults at like a place like, I'm trying to think of other places you guys play, but maybe not places right on College Avenue or Beaver Avenue. Kind of what's that comparison like? What are the pros and cons?
It's so different. College students are so much fun. Doggies and Cafe are probably where we play the most downtown. And then, out of town, when we go further out of town, the better it is.
It does
Like-
tend to be the case. People
Yeah,
are much
Lock
more
Haven.
receptive and generous, and
Right.
It's kind of strange. Sometimes I feel like
People are just used to it in State College.
Right.
Music all the livelong day.
Yeah,
But-
because there's so many options, so many good other good bands and other players in town, that it's kind of you're used to it when you when
Yeah.
you grow up here, and you're used to it if you live here. And if we go just 20, 30 miles out of town, people it's a whole other world. And
yeah,
it's really,
so
it's flattering
grateful. Yeah.
in a lot of ways. But I do like playing for students. I like seeing people just have a good time.
Yeah, it's so much fun.
Sometimes it's
It's-
alcohol-induced good time, and I enjoy seeing that too, honestly.
Sometimes.
Okay, fine.
Doggies in the summer is so much. Cafe in the summer, everywhere in the summer. Anywhere not in the winter.
Who hounds you guys for requests more? College students or adults?
Yeah. Well, college students are less serious about it, I would say. Like, adults are more, you don't know Zach Brown Band?
Why don't you
No.
know this?
I
I'm not a
don't.
jukebox. I know a lot of songs, but I can't just whip it out on a fly all the time. But when I can, it feels good.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
yeah,
my
we know
thing
that.
with
Yeah, let's do it.
requests is, why would you want to hear a band do a half-assed job of something they don't really know, than do all the stuff that they love and they practice and
Work hard on. That's true.
right? Yeah, I don't know. That's just my
That's a good
thing
point, though. Yeah.
with requests and Freebird and
Freebird.
and all that.
I'm not even sure half the people that yell out Freebird know exactly what Freebird
I
is.
Yeah,
know.
it's become a joke at this point.
You're
Yeah.
right.
It's
Right.
probably right.
And we'll do like
I'll play with it. I'll put the
Yeah.
intro. I'll start doing it.
we do a few
Nobody even
bars of
knows
it,
what it
and no
does.
one even yeah.
Because they're yelling it the whole time, and then you start playing.
Yep.
You're like, oh, what?
They don't
funny.
realize that's what's happening. I know. It's something.
Yep. So, so playing in State College, do you guys like develop, relationships with the other like bands that play? I know you guys, and then there's some other like kind of like mainstay, I guess. A lot of bands that normally play. Do you guys like develop relationships with them? Are you close with them, or is that more like a competition type of thing?
No, it's a super small community, and I think we're super lucky. I've lived in a lot of other places where music just isn't like it is here. Like there isn't music, several times a week, and no one really seems to. Everyone has their own sort of niche and style, and we're doing a bunch of collaborations with a ton of people at the State Theater in a few different concerts that upcoming in the spring, and we always trade gigs if someone can't make it for family reasons or whatever. It's a really small and lovely community. Yeah,
it's
everyone
true.
gets
and
along
we've had an opportunity to work with many other artists in the area, and it's always fun to collaborate and just see what happens because everybody has such a different approach to things.
Right.
Kind of a general question. What are your best or like funny stories from performing in State College? Do you have any moments that stand out? Kind of a tough question.
Oh, well, I mean, lots.
Yeah, definitely. Let me think. Like best times that we've had.
Well, what game was that? The Auburn game. Our faces melted, and we wilted in the sun because at Cafe 210,
outside.
We've only ever played in the afternoon or the evening, but this was like blaring.
Right, super hot.
Yeah, very, very hot. And then Ted and Molly were playing after us, and I texted them during our set saying, bring your sun hats and sunscreen. And their iPads
died from
melted.
The heat.
Oh my
God.
God.
Or they shut off or they died. And
we were often thrown
my
into
gosh, it was
situations
so
like-
hot.
It was so early in the season.
Yeah.
Oh my
September,
gosh.
That was an
That was the hottest I've ever been. It was
interesting day.
And just being hot is probably the weirdest, I guess. When things get because equipment starts shutting down and your guitar strings break and
that's true.
Yeah, the hotness
And the sweat
is the weirdest part. Yeah, the sweat. Yeah, on the strings.
Yeah, we have performed in all sorts of different situations, and there's always something redeeming about all of them. I mean, it's fun no matter what, but
it gives you a story.
Yeah, there's always some story to tell.
The dog,
I'm trying to think about
dog
one
poop
thing in particular.
story.
Oh yeah, dog poop right next to us when we had to clean it up while performing at a private party.
Yeah,
that was fun.
And it was
that's why we were there. It was 95 degrees out. So, yeah, we wanted
that's
to
another
clean up
hot
your dog
one.
Poop too. So we do that surface as well if you're interested.
It was like a welcome mat. There was a welcome mat, and Matt stepped on it to plug something in, but actually it was a dog pee turf.
Yeah, it was.
So the dog pee came up like over his shoe.
I left footprints all over, and the rest of the time, after playing 3 hours, they asked us to play for another hour in the 95-degree heat with my dog pee-soaked foot and the dog that took a shit right next to us while we were playing, which we also cleaned up for them.
Oh man,
we'll do a little bit of everything.
I mean, we do it all.
That's our
service
story
musicians.
that we go like. That one really stuck for some reason. I don't know why, but
it is a good story. You got a good story out of it at least, right? But so why the name Anchor&Arrow? Where did that idea come from?
Oh, we should have named it something else.
I like it.
Maybe.
You guys and it fits well on the stickers. You
And
get
it's a sad story. It's really after my nephew that passed away. He was 19, and he had a bunch of Sailor Jerry tattoos and lived at the beach, and so an anchor was a big symbol for him. And we were just trying, with so much like grief and heaviness, we were trying to think of something in the opposite direction. So that was where the arrow came in.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And that was just right at the beginning of our marriage, and
right.
Later that fall is when we started to first start playing out. So it was, it was a big deal. It still is a big deal.
Kind of a tribute to him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's very cool.
Not everybody's looking for that story, so they always ask, "Who's the anchor and who's the arrow?"
I know. We got to come up with a back burner
we gotta
story
I mean,
to
I
make
always
it
tell them that I'm
happier.
the dull and heavy one that drags everybody down, and she's the sharp one. That
and
the high flying,
right.
sharp one.
Yeah.
That's my normal story, but there's a little bit more behind it than that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's
when we don't want to
to
get into it, that's what we say.
That's very nice. So, I guess going in a different direction too. kind of in general, what would be like your dream gig or like future goals that you have? What would be a dream, venue for you guys to play?
I mean,
other than the Bryce Jordan Center?
I want to
25
do,
years
and
this
this
year.
is like, Matt doesn't want to do this at all, but I am like such a Michael Franti fan, and what's his name? MC Yogi. But like all these yoga festivals and like movement and music festivals, I just feel like as we get older, that's the shit we can do.
Right.
Like
So we do some other stuff that we don't perform.
we
out
play
at the
a lot
bars.
for live music or live yoga classes.
Oh, yeah, I saw. I meant to ask you.
Oh my
Yeah, I saw that.
God.
Okay.
And Matt is so good at that shit. It is so good.
It is basically a song for an hour and a half that doesn't stop.
No.
And it's fully improvised.
No, it's so
And-
good.
And it is.
And I have
really
a
good,
huge
so-
yoga background. I owned a yoga studio
That's
in
true.
Washington State, and I love chanting. And that's where I want this to go. But
Yeah,
right now
I could
we're a
see
bar
that.
band in State College,
Oh, there you
Pennsylvania.
go. That's very cool. That's super interesting.
We can fit into a lot of different spots, and that's one that is very fun. We don't have the opportunity to do it quite as much as we do, going out and playing at the bars and covering tunes. But it is a lot of fun. It's a totally different experience for the both of us.
It's fantastic. I love it so much.
It really is not hard or work to come up with that time frame of stuff. It really flows and
Lots of
flies
Sanskrit
by,
chant.
which is strange. Yeah, it's a
I
good
love
time.
it.
That's very cool.
It's so much fun.
So, could you guys could you see yourself living in the Pacific Northwest in Washington and doing that kind of thing, or no? Is that in the plans?
I mean, who knows where the wind blows?
That's true.
That's a good way to put it.
She lived there for a while and
Nice.
would definitely love to go back.
Yeah.
And if that opportunity comes up at some point in our time, yeah, that would be really neat.
There you go. Very cool. So, couple final questions here.
Sure.
So we are having our guest pick the intro and outro song for the episode they appear on. So if you guys want to pick two, that'd be awesome.
I would love to do we can
Yeah, that'd
send
be
you shit from Spotify and whatever.
That'd be
Yeah.
perfect.
So
We can totally
of
do that.
our original stuff, I think we know what our favorite tunes are that we've come up with. For at least we had to pick two.
What are yours?
I know the one we played at THON, the Honey Groove.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
I
yeah.
like that.
Yeah,
That was
you
good.
wrote about that. That
Yeah.
was a little tune that was part of a 24-hour competition to write a song, and it ended up being about ordering pancakes at a diner.
Right.
And it came together way better than I had expected, and so we perform that one all the time.
Yeah.
So that would be one of them. And
Okay.
I think the other one of ours that I like is called Pocket Boys.
oh yeah, that's a
was
fun
a
one. That would be a
Fun
good
collaboration.
intro, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
So we'll get
We'll
those
send
to
you
you
those.
or
That'd be
whatever.
great.
You could
We
throw
can
those
totally
in
do
there.
that.
That'd be great.
Yeah. For both of you again, what advice would you give to college students right now?
I teach younger people, and I tell them that you don't really have to know what you want to do. Just go and enjoy the things that you like, and don't necessarily expect that to be the rest of your life. But
Oh, and it never turns out
no,
like
it
that
doesn't.
anyway.
It's not going to turn out the way you planned,
No,
but it'll work out. So
nothing does.
stick to your love and follow it, and
L'chaim.
you'll end up somewhere.
I love it. Beautiful. I love that. And then finally,
Yeah.
I was lying. We have one more.
Oh, okay.
Where can the people follow along with you guys on social media, on your website, and where can they see you in the coming weeks?
Oh my gosh, get the calendar out. March is nuts. So social media, Anchor&Arrow, all smushed together on Facebook. Anchor&Arrow Music on Instagram. What's our
AnchorandArrowmusic.com.
.com?
That is all our schedule for the next few months.
Beautiful.
Upcoming things, boy, we are taking two weeks off of March, and we still have 10 things scheduled. So
We're at Gigi's. We're at Penn State. We're at Broken Axe in
we're
Lock
in
Haven.
Belfont.
Nice.
We're out in Bollesburg. Oh my gosh, there's all sorts of stuff coming up. Just all over the place. A's Pub, if you've not been down there for that. On a
We love
Friday,
A's Pub.
A's Pub on the
Love
25th,
A's
on the 25th
Pub.
of March. That is an experience.
That's one of my
March
favorite
25th,
places.
right?
Yeah.
March
Hell yeah.
25th.
I mean, it's a grocery store. It's
No,
a
it's the
bar,
best, man.
and it is always a good time. You're like, I know.
Oh my God,
So you guys
such
play
a
it.
good time.
Yeah,
the best.
we have a lot of fun there. So that
That's my favorite
of our
place.
downtown things coming up, that'd probably be the next one to catch. Definitely.
Definitely. Love A's. And you said you were talking about GG Southern Table.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know I didn't know you could do live music there. I mean, it
Yeah,
makes sense,
we're
but
there
it's awesome.
twice.
Right.
Awesome.
Twice in March. We're there the 30th, which is an evening, and then a brunch on a Saturday,
Saturday brunch,
19th
yeah.
or something like that. Oh, and the Women's Voices concert is coming up at the State Theater.
Cool.
Very fun. Lots of collaborations. Lots of local bands.
That is when.
That's the
that is
26th.
The 26th. Another State Theater thing in April coming up at the Rock the 80s concert.
Rock
That'll
the
be fun.
80s.
Hell yeah.
That's
Nice.
going to be really fun.
Very
I
cool.
always enjoy rocking the 80s as
Lots
if I
of
was
fun
born
bands.
in the 80s. Maybe. But yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for taking the time, answering our questions.
Thank you.
We really appreciate it. Thank you guys.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you for
Thank
coming.
you. We appreciate it too.
Thanks.
So that was Anchor&Arrow. It was a pretty awesome interview. Fun to hear from a local band. You can see them at bars Thursday, Fridays, Saturdays. I can't go because I'm not 21, nor is anyone I'm with. So here's Connor Krause, the Keelster. Let's talk about some Penn State athletics, shall we?
How's it going, Charlie?
Let's do it.
Doing well. How about yourself?
I'm doing great.
Hell yeah, brother.
Is that like the real nickname?
No, Grace just dubbed it 2 days ago.
It's Keeley Lamm, actually, but you can call her the Keelster.
Or don't.
Or don't. So to start, we'll go into men's basketball. What do you got, Connor?
Yeah, so Penn State won on senior night against Northwestern at the BJC last Friday, 67-60. They were down by 7 at halftime, so they came back on a late game run. Partly thanks to Dalian Johnson, who hit 5 threes for a career-high 15 points. So pretty good showing from him. And John Hara also played one of his best games. He had 20 rebounds for a career-high.
I realized that. That's insane.
Yeah, so career-high in rebounds. And he was also honored and got a standing ovation at the beginning of the game.
He's the man. We love John Hara. Keeley, what do you have on this?
7 seniors were honored at senior night, which is unusual. That was a big crowd. We had Miles Dredd, Sam Sessoms, Greg Lee, Jaheim Cornwall, Jelani White, John Hara, and Jalen Pickett.
But yeah, then Penn State played Nebraska at home on Sunday, so 2 games in 3 days. And nobody expected a 23-point blowout, considering Penn State was 11.5-point favorites. But yeah, it was a tough game. John Hara, he was seen on Big Ten Network, really upset, honestly, because of his team's effort. Just a tough way to go out on a pretty awesome career for him.
Yeah, that made me sad. I did not enjoy seeing that video. On a bright note, Nebraska also just beat Ohio State.
They did
last night, and
E.J. Liddell at 27-14.
So I mean, you can't be losing to like the worst team in the Big Ten by 23, but a little silver lining.
Yeah.
The end of the season, huh?
Maybe we're the worst team in the Big Ten, turns out.
It's possible Penn State is not on the better side of teams in the Big Ten, but they try hard, and John Hara is the man. And that video actually made me really upset on Sunday.
Yeah, and after that game, it was pretty cool. Hara came down and gave all the student section high fives.
Mm-hmm.
Sam actually tweeted, John Hara is Penn State, which is funny because when he came through, I said, John, you are Penn State. So
that's awesome.
We were on the same wavelength there.
That's that pod connection right there.
Oh, yeah.
So I guess that'll do it for men's basketball. Keeley, what you got on the Lady Lions?
Yes, so last Thursday, the Lady Lions took a big loss to Ohio State, ranked number 17, 78-55. This was a rescheduled game from January when there was an outbreak on the Lady Lions team. McKenna Marisa had a pretty dismal game with only 10 points, almost 12 less than her usual average. So that was sad.
Yeah, it was tough to see McKenna not play too hot. It's senior night against Minnesota on Sunday. Another loss. So they ended the Big Ten play 5-13. Few seniors honored on the Lady Lions senior night were Kelly Jaycott and Nia Beverly. And then they went into Big Ten play, lost by 25 as a 12 seed. So
Big Ten tournament play?
Big Ten tournament play. So that was their season. But they had some bright spots. McKenna had a sick year. McKenna Marissa's a dog. She is all Big Ten first team. second in scoring behind
Caitlin Clark.
Caitlin Clark. Thank you, Connor. She's been insane at Iowa. So, yeah, I mean, that's
This is some A+ analysis, brother.
thanks, brother.
Let's keep it rolling.
Connor, what do you have on wrestling?
So this weekend, March 5th through 6th, they play in Lincoln, Nebraska. The Big Ten championships are coming up, so that'll be pretty cool. They've rolled through the Big Ten this season, other than the pretty close Iowa match. So there should be a lot of individual winners there. Should be fun to see.
Keeley, what's your prediction for the Big Ten championship and then into the NCAAs later this March?
I think Penn State's going to go all the way. I have never watched wrestling ever, don't really follow it, but that is my prediction, Charlie Pegler.
To be honest with you, I don't watch that much wrestling, but it's the only Penn State sport I can say I expect them to win.
I feel pretty
right?
confidently.
They're sick. Like, Connor, you watch more wrestling. Is there any shot they don't win?
I think they'll probably win. Yeah, pretty safe to say.
Hell yeah. Let's get another banner, boys. All right. Men's hockey has their first round of the Big Tens this weekend, right? Yeah, starts on Friday. They'll play Ohio State in a best-of-3 series starting on the 4th in Columbus. So, guys, I know they beat Ohio State once.
Yeah, they won in a shootout
Right, yeah.
early in January, in the middle of January. But then the game after that, they lost 6-1. So
Right. So hopefully a better outcome in the Big Ten play.
It's pretty cool how the Big Ten tournament does it though. Best
Yeah,
2 out of 3 series,
Yeah,
not single
I like
game. So probably more chances to fix some stuff if
Right.
game 1 goes poorly.
And baseball won their series against Maine. Junior Matt Wood earned Big Ten Player of the Week, so good for Matt.
Matt. I actually went to high school with Matt. I lived in his
shit.
neighborhood,
Shout
so
out.
we're childhood friends.
Shout out P-
We played a lot of wiffle ball, and he was hitting dingers off of roofs. So
Yeah?
pretty fun.
How'd you do against him?
Not great. I'm not much of a baseball player.
Looks like softball split the weekend series this past weekend against Georgia Tech and Kennesaw State from Georgia. Currently, they're 8-5 on the season, so better than ever before, I believe. And this upcoming weekend, they are headed to play a 5-game series in Chapel Hill against Oregon, UNC Chapel Hill, UConn, and UNC Greensboro. So that should be exciting.
That's really. I like how they do that. They play. It's like a tournament kind of style. They just play like a round robin against teams.
Yeah, they pick a location and they bring a bunch of teams in to one spot.
All right, so Penn State men's and women's lax both had big weekends. The men took down number 5 Yale 10-6. 3 goals from redshirt freshman Jeb Brenflick. Goalie. I mean, 5 goals in lacrosse is insane. Goalie Alaric Fioc made 21 saves. First win over Yale in 25 years. So definitely a big win for the Lions that started 1-3.
Yeah, it was pretty good revenge too. I know Yale beat Penn State in the Final Four in 2019. So.
Right.
Pretty cool to get the win, especially since Penn State started the season pretty poorly against some bad competition. So,
Yeah.
Keeley, you have any thoughts on that?
That's pretty impressive. I mean, Yale is serious, so 25 years is a long time. Go Penn State men's lax.
Hell yeah. And next game's against number 6 Penn. Penn State women's lax also had a great weekend. Keeley, I know you were covering it, so what do you got?
This was a really fun game to watch, actually. Missy Doherty's squad took on Cornell last Saturday and won 22-11. They were up 9-8 at halftime, only gave up 2 goals in the second half. Kristen O'Neill also had 5 goals, which was really impressive. They put freshman Ashley Bowen in the net for one of the first times this season, and she came up really big. Let's see. And Brooke Haas also picked up Big Ten Freshman of the Week after this game, so shout out to her.
Yeah, shout out Brooke Haas. Shout out the whole women's lax team.
That was another episode of Podward State. We talked to Anchor&Arrow, Matt and Jen. Very good interview. What'd you think, Sam?
Yeah, it was cool to chat with them. Appreciate them coming on. Definitely go check them out at their website, on social media, and obviously at the bar. And
Indeed.
I guess the yoga studio. And she also runs the thrift store in Webster. So go check that out. And I believe you can
That's
follow
cool.
them on social too.
Tiger's Eye Vintage Shop.
Yeah, you can check out her store, Tiger's Eye Vintage, in Webster's Bookstore and Cafe. So, yeah, definitely a shout out to those guys for coming on. Appreciate the crew in here. We got, along with me and Grace, we have our sound technician, Jordy Mansberger, our associate producer, Will Pegler, our editor, Hailey Stutzman, and our contributors, Charlie Pegler, Keeley, Lamm, Connor Krause, and Teagan Staudenmeier.
Yep.
We're missing a couple, but
Aaron Shannon.
we now have a big group, so I don't know if we'll ever get all of us in here, but times are changing.
The peaceful transition,
of power. So we hope you guys have a fantastic break. This will be coming out on the first day of break, so first Monday of
large
break, so.
podcation now.
Yeah, big podcation. So we won't have an episode
our
for
listeners
like 2
will
weeks.
miss us so much.
Yeah. We'll miss
Be
you too,
strong,
Ryan.
guys. We'll be back soon.
Yeah. But this has been another episode of Podward State. My name is Sam Brungo.
Grace Cunningham.
Appreciate you guys. Take it easy. Be safe.
See ya.